welcome, and thank you for being here today, taking out your time. I know that taking this type of slap in your day is not as easy, because I'm sure every one of you, especially my good friend over there, you guys are super busy out in the community working with your employees and everything you do for a living. So I highly appreciate you being here. So as you're sitting here today, what I will encourage you is that with your little notepads that you have in front of you, is to take 1, 2, or 3 things that you want to discuss further. You know, I always said, no matter how bad the meeting is, you always want to find 1 or 2 things that you can take with you and apply to your personal life or your business. And so that's what I encourage you always to look for, no matter how bad it is. You just want to take 1 or 2 or 3 things to talk about, okay? So you write it down as you listen to the things we will say today, and then if you have a question, you may want to raise your hand, or you may want to wait to the end. That way we can discuss further your question and hopefully clarify what you're looking for. We good? Once again, my name is Carlos. I'm originally from Honduras. And for those of you that don't know me, I came to the United States when I was 16 years old. And I immigrated to the USA. It took me about 4 months to get to the United States. I pretty much walked through Mexico. So I went through the whole process of coming through Mexico, coming to the United States. And today's meeting is going to be all based on goal setting, putting in the work, and take responsibility. And you wonder, what does that mean to you, business owner? Or I don't know if any one of you is an employee level, you know, just a regular employee, but I hope that I know that most of you are in the business side. So you always want to encourage your employees or yourself to be able to set goals, put the work, and take more responsibility. So here in a minute, I'm going to break it down, what that means to you, and how, hopefully, if you're already there, how we can improve it and bring it to the next level. All right? So when I came to the United States as a kid, the first goal that I had was, so I can tell you how when I break it down. So the first goal that I had is learn English. So I said, I want to learn English. But how long would that take? What type of work do I need to do? What responsibilities do I need to carry on to learn English, right? It took me about 6 months to be able to learn English. So the moment I came to the United States, I bought little Walkman, cassettes, had over here on my belt. I'm working with the Walkman on. As I'm working, I was doing sandpaper walls. So we're doing, wallpaper. So I was sanding the walls, making it nice and smooth so the wallpaper people can install the paper. As I'm working, I'm listening to the English tapes and I'm repeating the words. All day long, people look at me like, what is wrong with you? And I said, I'm learning English. And I always told them my goal is to learn English within 6 months. Okay, so I had a goal to learn English in 6 months. The work that I was doing is I was putting it every single day. I was committed to listen to the tapes so then I can learn the language. What was my responsibility? I went and bought the tapes. I didn't have much money, but I went and bought the tapes, bought the Walkman, and all those type of things. So execution to go all together. So that's one little step of what we're going to talk about. A few years later, I landed at Dunkin' Donuts. Not a few years later, like 6 months later, I landed at Dunkin' Donuts, right? Took a job at Dunkin' Donuts and barely spoke English, but I spoke enough to work there. So I got to the place. They offered me a job making $4.50 an hour, 4.5 hours a day. So that's not much, right? But that's what I had to take. But I took it. I took it with one end in mind. I want to go in there. I want to get a job, get my feet in the door, learn what they do there, and move up. And that's exactly what I did. I walked into the place, got the job, did the best job possible, which was clean the kitchen, mop the grease, clean the dishes, make the place spotless within 4.5 hours. The guy told me, if you take 5, 6 hours, I don't care, I'm paying you for 4.5 hours. $4.50 an hour to do this work. Perfect. You can drink all the coffee you want, eat all the donuts you want. Let's go.
Free donuts, Carlos.
Exactly. My friends are like, man, you're going to take that job? And the guys that work with me, I said, yeah, I'm going to take it. Why? I said, because I get in there. I do what I'm supposed to do. I get very good at it. And then I can move up. See where I'm going with this conversation? So I took the job, did exactly what I put myself to do. Within a few days, the guy said, well, you speak English. And I go, yeah, perfect. You like to work with people? I love people. Excellent. So I'm going to move you to the front where you're going to take care of my customers. Perfect. We'll train you how to do it. And I said, let me tell you something. I don't only want to learn about how to take care of your people. I want to learn everything in your Dunkin' Donuts. I want to know everything. I want to be a baker. I want to be your guy that does your deliveries. I want to do everything. Oh, yeah, we'll teach you. Perfect. Is that what you want? Yes. Why? Because I want to work a lot of hours. I want to make money. You're like, okay, Dunkin' Donuts. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I was making $5.25 an hour now. I got a raise. Yes. Plus, I got to work 60, 70, 75 hours a week. So I had a lot of hours. As I'm doing that, I'm also embedding myself everywhere so I can become a baker, that I can become an assistant manager, that I can manage the register, that I can manage everything else that comes with it. And so that is what I want you to take with you today, those type of things. So if you have an employee that is like not doing the things you're supposed to do, you have 2 or 3, like I was talking to a business owner, and he said, I am struggling because my employees, they were very good people, but now they are not. All right, what happened? They lost the drive. So what are you doing as a business owner to keep the drive in your business, to keep growing and to keep those employees going forward? So that really comes back to you as a business owner, to what kind of mentoring you're doing. Are you listening to your employees, what they're asking you for? And that's what these people did for me. They listened to what I asked for. They listened because I said, I want to know everything. I want to learn how to be an assistant manager. I want to learn how to make the donuts. So everything. So they took me step by step and taught me everything and kept me motivated to keep moving forward within my little Dunkin' Donuts career. That making any sense? So if you have an employee that sometimes they get good and all of a sudden they hit a wall and they stop. And you notice, what happened? They don't show up on time. They pick up bad habits. And all these type of things, you start to go down. And you say, what happened? This guy was my best. Well, pay attention to how are you treating that person. Are you motivating that person? Are you giving that person the power? Are you empowering that employee to keep thinking ahead and keep thinking ahead? Because remember, 1 or 2 good employees can make your company. Especially when you're small business owners. They can make your company. And you'll be able to take, your reward will be you'll be able to take a little more time off and depend on those employees. You'll be able to go on those nice vacations that we like. Make any sense? All right, so let's move a step forward. I got very good at Dunkin' Donuts business. Goal number 1 achieved. Get good at Dunkin' Donuts. I got good, ran that business, got tired, move up. So my goal at the very beginning was to, which is still now, to constantly be moving and be moving up and up. I don't know if you guys were in my previous class or you have listened to my YouTube video where I talk about goal setting. And I talk about your devotion, your family, your health, your intellectual, which is you're always constantly looking for more, and of course, your money, how much money you want to make. And of course, we're never happy with how much money we're making. So we all want to make more money, right? So, but to make more money, you need to learn new things. You need to be innovative. You need to innovate and come up with new ideas, how to reinvent yourself and get to the next level. So that's exactly what I always been working on. So moved to Kansas City in 1998. Give you another example. Come to the Kansas City, went to work in a car business. Never in my life have sold a car before. I had the idea that I like car business, I like real estate, I like financial services, but never done it. Neither I spoke enough English to sell cars. I spoke enough English to be in the donut business, but not to be in the car business, because you got to be more persuading, right? You have to have different levels of different skills. I got in the business. At the very beginning, people will pick on me. They'll make fun of me because I came from New York. So my accent, I had a New York accent, and I also had my own accent that I still deal with till this day. So I got in the business, and the guy that recruited me, one of the owners of the company, said, Carlos, if you allow me, I will develop you to be one of the most successful car salesmen. I said, really? Yeah. What I got to do? Just follow my lead. Perfect. I'm in. Have you said that to one of your employees? That's my question to you. Have you said that to one of your employees? Or you, if you're in sales or any type of business, have you paid attention to your boss? How he got to be your boss? How he got to own the business? And all those type of things. And we'll find out more and more as we go on. So my first 6 months, my first 3 months were very difficult because people will pick on me. They'll constantly be mocking my accent and making fun of me. No big deal. So I started thinking about it. Okay, got to get better. Called this college professor, and he said that I wanted to change, go to a school. I found out that there's schools where you can go and learn how to get rid of an accent. Like President Clinton went to one of those places. So I called this place, and they said, yeah, we can do it. It's very expensive. I said, I'll pay for it. But then he goes, what kind of work you do? Sales. You don't want to get rid of it. I said, why? Because when you have an accent, people find you interesting. And they want to listen to you, and they pay very close attention to you. Just learn the lingo, the language of the industry better. Oh, hello. I said, okay, perfect. I can do that. Then I got really good. One more time, I put in the work in studying up the business, in constantly reading books, listening to different kind of cassettes and CDs, and learning all about the industry, learning everything there is to learn about cars, learning everything there is to know about financing, and understanding how the bank works, understanding how the car business works. And before you know it, 6 months later, I was at the top. Two things happened. One, I had a goal. I had a goal to be very good. Two, I had a very supportive employer. I had a very supportive. He will support me with absolutely everything. So now, for those of you that work with people, are you doing that for your people? And that's what I'm hoping that you take with you today, that kind of message. When you go back to your office today, you pay attention to your employees. How are they doing it? Are they at the top, in the middle, or the bottom? A bottom, middle, top. Where are they? Are you helping them to get to the top? Are you being a leader, a mentor to those people so they can get to where they want to be at the very top? In return, what do? You make more money. And you have more freedom. You don't have to be constantly pushing them to do better. That make any sense? So let's go back to my little car business. 6 months later, I'm at the top. But I'm looking at these guys, but I'm at the top and not at the very top. I'm looking at some guys that are like just selling a lot of cars. And I'm like, how do they do it? Well, in the car business, or in most sales business, you will find out sometimes that there are some good people in the company, but they don't want to tell you how they are good, how they got there, right? So I did ask a lot of questions, and I try to be friends with some of them. I even tried to persuade them to go out for lunch with me so I can ask them questions. And they said, I'm not sharing anything with you. Okay, no problem. I just pay attention to how they work, how they handle themselves in front of people, how they handle their phone, and all those type of things. Number one. Number two, if you're in sales right now, pay attention to this. So the next thing I pay attention to is I found me 2 or 3 people that knew exactly how to do things, but they did not want to put the work to be top people. Have you run into those people before? Well, they're very good. They know the rules. They know everything. But they are still in the bottom. Why is that? They're not willing to put the work. They're not willing. They're not willing to get that on time. They're not willing to make the phone calls they need to be making. They're just not they are not motivated. Their goal is never to be at the top. Their goal is just to keep a job. So immediately, once I learned from those guys everything, I'm always learning from anybody. Even one little thing is good for me. Then I discovered that I needed to put set a mentality on myself that I'm not longer working for a company. I'm working for myself because I'm working in commissions and I have a paycheck based on my production. So then I said, wait a minute. Somehow, I'm a business owner. I'm a business within a business. So when I discovered and I acknowledged that conversation, so I took more responsibility into developing my own business within a business. And I went into the mindset that from here on, I'm going to be running my business like if I am a small dealership within a dealership. And then I took ownership of my clients, where I told my client, I had my clients, 100% ownership of my clients. So if my client had any issues, they never had to go to the owner or the managers to resolve it. They went to me, and I resolved it for them, no matter how big or how small. Now, if you're in sales, that is exactly what you need to do. That is very possible, the piece that is missing in sales, if you're in sales for you. If you're not rising to the very top, if you're not making those dollars that everybody else is making at the very top, that is the part that you might be missing. You are seeing your sales career as a job, and you cannot do that. If you're in sales, self-employed, you cannot do that. You got to see it as your own business. Even when you're working for somebody else, you're just fortunate enough to be partnered with that business owner. Once you take that responsibility, do the work, you will be achieving your goals. And that is what got me within a year in a company to the very top. Now I'm the top, like the one. This is it, okay? So once I acknowledge all those things, then I became their number one salesman. And I went on to do that for about six or 7 years. Let me take you to the next step in my life. That's not all I want in my life, right? That's not all. And I mastered the car business. I'm good. Had two different ways to go in a business. Because I'm in a big company. I'm in the biggest dealership in Kansas City. About 40 salespeople on the floor. I'm their number one. So I said, I can only do two things to make more money. I'm also the highest paid person in the dealership. So they're like even changing the pay plan because of me. So at this point, I had two choices. I can go into a finance manager or maybe a sales manager. So, but the owner of the place was smart enough to understand that on me and support me. One more time, I'm coming back to you. Are you paying attention to those type of employees that may be wanting to go into that role, becoming a manager, go into management? That you then, once you discover that is the case, then you can help them out, mentor them, and bring them into that next level so they can feel appreciated and not leave you. Because if you don't help them, they will leave you. That's the problem. And then you lose your most valuable people that will make you the most money in your company. So that's the part you got to pay very close attention. I ended up leaving the car business in 2009, went into the insurance and financial services. Somehow I landed in one of the biggest companies in the United States in the insurance and financial services. So when I got into business, I had zero clue about what insurance and financial services was. But I had goals. And my goal is, unto this moment, to still constantly keep growing and developing myself to the next level. So that is still this very moment in front of you right here, right? So I got into the insurance business, learned the industry. The moment I got in, by now I had a very better idea what I'm looking for and what I'm after. I have a very clear understanding exactly what I want out of it. Got in it. The first thing I said is, I want to know the game. Want to know the game, want to know the rules. I'll make sure if I can play it. Got it. Learned the rules really quick, learned the game really quick, got in it, played it really well. Once I'm in, about 12 months into it, 14 months into it, I started looking at the management side. And as I'm looking at the management side, was so many layers. So many layers, because when you're in a big corporation like I was, so many layers. So the only one thing I knew that whatever next step was, I had to keep my production standard at the very top. That would be the only way that I can move up. So what am I doing? I have high goals, high expectations. I'm putting all the work, and I'm taking all the responsibilities on my very own hands, which is I got to make sure that I put myself in a situation where I can be promoted to the next level that I want to be. And sometimes not necessarily means money, but sometimes it's just, satisfaction that you're doing something different than not just the entry-level work. Somehow an opportunity came up within a company, and I said I want it, and they give it to me. Several people went to the interviews, several people from all over the country, but they give it to me. Why? Because I was doing all the right things. So then they make me what is called marketing developing consultant for the company. So, and you wonder, okay, so what's your degree? GED. A GED. And then, but the job that I'm taking now, the responsibility that I'm taking, is to be a marketing development consultant, a person that develops financial advisors, a person that mentors up high people, guide them to open their business, to run their business in a community, to be out in a community and teach them to do perfect networking, social media, mail marketing, anything, any kind of marketing they needed. And also to teach them how to run a business, how to understand the concept around their business. What level do you think I'm at? At that moment, I felt very, very good. I felt accomplished. But there's always more. There is always more. Feeling accomplished is good, but you always want to look for more. What else is there? I'm still working for a company, right? Right now, I feel accomplished, but I'm working for a company. The next step here, the only thing will be is for me to set goals up and now become a self-employed. So become a self-employed, for those of you, most of you that are, it is a scary thing. Business owners, right? It is a scary thing. All the responsibilities lands on your shoulders. Everything. But that's what I did. I left the big corporation, and now is what you're looking at. I joined a brokerage firm where I'm pretty much my own business owner, and I run my own thing. And that's what I'm doing right here in front of you today. And so if we recap that, so I set goals from the very beginning of my life when I was 16 years old to learn English, right? Learn the English. Went from Dunkin' Donuts, clean the kitchen, clean the grease, to become assistant managers and all that kind of stuff in Dunkin' Donuts. Run Dunkin' Donuts, pretty much. People always told me, this guy is the owner of Dunkin' Donuts. What's the deal? Because I ran the place like mine. Then from there, I moved out of New York, came to Kansas City in 99, and went to the car business. Went from a very base level, that barely knew how to park a car, to become their top salesman person. There for a brief moment, I went to finance department. I became a finance manager. Then for another couple years, I became a sales manager, became a used cars manager. And within the industry, I had many hats within the car industry. But I don't want to bore you. What I want to tell you is to pay attention to employers, what direction they want to go. Help them, be a mentor to them. The more you give, the more they will give you. If you want to grow your company, the only way to do it is to have a good people around you. You don't have to be the sharpest tools in a box, But if you understand people and you get along with people, the rest is history. You will grow. Before you know, you have 2 companies, 3 companies, and you have people placed in different places, and all you want to do is visit with them, listen to them. How often do you meet with your employees? Is it once a year? Every 6 months? Actually, you should be meeting with your employees at least once a week, at the very minimum, once a week, where you sit down with them, you listen to what their concerns are out of each one of them, their roles, what do they do for you. Listen to their roles and listen to what they, sometimes, you know, they are at home, they're telling their wives, hey, you know, my boss, and they start talking about all these awful things that they wish they were better for them. And what the wife said, because she's not there, well, give her another job. What do? You lose a good employee. What your company do is struggles because you had a person that was doing the right thing, that was making you money, turning your problems into profit, but you lose that person. Why? Because you didn't pay attention to that person. But if you meet maybe once a week, listen to their wants and their needs and how they want to grow with you, then find a way to develop those people and mentor those people into the next level, then you will have one successful company. And you're not only going to make money, but you're also going to be able to take some time off and have a little more freedom within your company. I think that I bit this down very good today for you guys. Well, thank you very much. We want to hear now from Mr. Frank?
Yes.
Okay. Guys, I'm very happy to be part of the Speaker Association. This is one thing that I've been wanting to do for a very, very long time. And I finally am in front, you know, working, rubbing shoulders with these cool people over here in the room. I'm very proud of how they work. I'm trying and I'm doing my best to learn as much as possible. As you all heard, I'm a work in progress. And today, when I get a chance to listen from Mr. Frank Clay, big time. So please pay attention, take some good notes, and ask questions, because that's the only way we know that you want to know more, if you ask questions. Thank you for your comments. For me, thank you very much, Mr. Frank.
Good job, fellas.